From the allegations of drugging and raping of minors to RICO charges, the diddler is looking at a life sentence at best. His ex-producer Lil Rod has provided the feds videos and picture evidence of his crimes, so there's no way he is avoiding it this time. In this video, I'm going to walk y'all through Diddy's indictment and show y'all why he ain't getting out anytime soon. Arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. For decades, Sean Combs abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Those ain't my words, y'all, that's straight facts from the indictment against Diddy. But before I fill y'all in the dark details, I want to walk y'all through the event that put the first dent into the crimes of P. Diddler. On the 17th of September 2024, Diddy was arrested in Manhattan following a grand jury indictment. This ain't even shocking when you look at the long list of his alleged crimes he committed. After his arrest, his legal team put out a statement saying they were disappointed with the decision to prosecute him, and noted that he had been cooperative with the investigation and had voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of the charges. However, after reading the indictment of this 54-year-old man, I'd say it took the police long enough. The grand jury indictment stems from a series of allegations that have been building up over the past year. In 2023, Diddy's former girlfriend, R&B singer Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit accusing him of sex trafficking and years of abuse. Cassie alleged that Diddy beat her for over 10 years, starting when she was 19 and he was 37. This lawsuit has been a motivation for the grand jury's decision to indict Combs. Cassie's lawsuit details a disturbing account of manipulation, control, and exploitation. According to the lawsuit, the abuse began shortly after Cassie signed with Diddy's record label Bad Boy Records. In 2005, Cassie alleges that Diddy, who was 37 at the time, used his power and influence to manipulate and control her. The lawsuit describes a pattern of behavior that included physical violence, sexual assault, and emotional manipulation. Diddy's recent indictment would also confirm this. The indictment states at a Los Angeles hotel in about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman who was attempting to leave. That woman in the video y'all just seen is none other than Cassie. Cassie alleges that Combs exerted an iron grip over her music career. She claims that he dictated what songs she could record, who she could collaborate with, and even how she should present herself to the public. This level of control, she said, was designed to keep her dependent on him for her success. I don't know y'all, but that is manipulative, as she further describes how Diddy would sabotage her professional relationships, ensuring that she remained isolated and under his influence. The suit also claimed that Diddy forced Cassie to carry his gun in her purse, and at some point, Diddy dangled a friend of Cassie over a 17th-floor hotel balcony. In addition to that, the suit claims Diddy provided her copious amounts of drugs, including ecstasy, and forced her to take it. It further alleged that in one incident in Los Angeles in 2009, Diddy became angry when Cassie began talking to another talent agent and pushed her into a car, kicked repeatedly in the face, making her bleed. He then asked his staff to bring her to a hotel to heal for a week. Cassie also claimed that in 2012, Diddy grew so angry about her dating Kid Sai that he said he would blow up C's car. Coincidentally, around that time, Kid Sai's car exploded in the driveway. The suit said Kid Sai would later confirm this through a spokeswoman. That is all true, he said. There were also claims that a few years into their relationship, Diddy began forcing her to engage in a fantasy of his voyeurism, which basically meant he forced her to have sex with male prostitutes while he watched and took pictures and videos. The court filing also alleges that in 2018, Diddy and Cassie met for dinner and he forced himself into her apartment and her while she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. If you are wondering why she didn't leave him or speak out during all those years of abuse, you got to understand that she was scared exposing someone who had allegedly gotten away with murder, and we'll get to that later in this video. Can be really frightening, knowing full well that he could just as well hurt her family if she tried to expose him. The diddler response to allegations was denial. Diddy said the allegations were all false and accused Cassie of trying to extort him. This is quite crazy, y'all, cuz there's literally digital footage of him beating and dragging her across the hallway of the hotel. To add to that, he actually put out a video acting and all sorry and stuff for what he did to her. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility. So I'm like, what do you mean by false accusations? When literally video proof. Or what do y'all think backing him up was his lawyer, who also claims that Cassie's lawsuit is an attempt to extort money from him and tarnish his reputation. He argued that the allegations were not only unfounded, but also part of a calculated effort to damage his career and personal life. In the end, however, did he agree to a settlement. And while the exact figures were not disclosed, many believe it ranges from $10 to $50 million. In a joint statement with Diddy, Cassie revealed that she decided to resolve the matter amicably on terms that she had some level of control now. If Diddy thought that paying Cassie some millions would be the ultimate cover-up for all his crimes, he had it all wrong, because her boldness would also inspire a long list of people he had abused to come out requesting their justice, and of course their own settlement. At the top of this is a producer known as Lil Rod, and he really turned the tables on Diddler in his lawsuit, providing new details and video evidence. Let me fill y'all in on the details. Lil Rod sued P. Diddy Rodney Jones, aka Lil Rod, Chicago-born producer who worked closely with the Diddy on his 2023 album. The Love album, Off the Grid, came out in February 2024 with a lawsuit that detailed series of shocking allegations of the life behind the scenes working for the Diddler. According to Jones, his nightmare began in August 2022, when he agreed to produce the album. He claims that he was under an implied work-for agreement with Combs, which led him to live with the recording giant for extended periods in Los Angeles, New York City, and Miami, as well as several weeks on a yacht rented by Diddy in the U.S. Virgin Islands. During this time, Jones alleges that he was subjected to constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching by Combs, particularly of his. The court documents also showed that in addition to the unsolicited and unauthorized touching, Mr. Jones was forced by Mr. Combs to work in Mr. Combs' bathroom, as Mr. Combs walked around naked and showered in a clear glass enclosure in the suit. Jones, who describes himself as a heteros Christian man, expressed his discomfort to Diddy's chief of staff, Christina K.K. Coram, who allegedly dismissed his complaints with the remark, "You know Sean will be Sean." This response, Jones claims, exemplifies the culture of impunity that surrounded Combs and his associates. The lawsuit also claims that KK tried to downplay Mr. Combs' groping of Mr. Jones and genitals as friendly horseplay, stating that those acts were Mr. Call's way of showing that he likes you. I'm sure you'll agree that there are better ways to show your brotherly love for someone without groping their genitals. But what else can we expect from the Diddler, aka Brother Love? Back to the story. Jones further alleges that Combs attempted to groom him into engaging in sexual activities with fellow producer Stephen Aaron Jordan, known as Stevie J. According to the documents, Mr. Combs was aware that Mr. Jones looked up to an idolized music producer, Steve Aaron Jordan, and Mr. Combs used his access to Stevie J and his knowledge of Mr. Jones's admiration of Stevie J to groom and entice Mr. Jones to engage sexual activities. Mr. Combs went so far as to share a video of Stevie J anally penetrating a Caucasian male. Without it, this was done to ease Mr. Jones's anxiety concerning homosexuality. According to Jones, Diddy promised to ensure that he would win Producer of the Year at the Grammys if he engaged in homosexuality. This coercion, Jones claims, was part of a broad pattern of sexual harassment and manipulation. The allegations do not stop with Combs. Jones claims that he was assaulted by a cousin or assistant of rapper Young Miami, who was dated Diddy. He also alleges that he was harassed and assaulted by Oscar Winter, Cuba Gooding Jr., but we'll get to all that in this video. The lawsuit also described Diddy's dual approach in convincing Jones to sleep with him. It stated Mr. Combs would often switch up his approach. He would go from promising Mr. Jones the world to threatening Mr. Jones with physical harm. Mr. Combs threatened to eat Mr. Jones' face and informed Mr. Jones that he is willing to kill his mother, Janice Combs, if he must in order to get what he wants, so he wouldn't think twice to harm Mr. Jones. The lawsuit includes screenshots of several incidents mentioned in the complaint, and Jones asserts that he has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. The lawsuit states Mr. Combs requested female sex workers and required Mr. Jones to solicit them. An hour later, several workers appeared. In addition to the workers, there were at least 5 women in the crowd that were under the age of 16. Mr. Combs forced all the women to drink Lace-Dion liquor upon information and belief. Mr. Combs laced the liquor with Jones. Also alleges that Combs displayed and distributed unregistered illegal firearms. One particularly harrowing incident described in the lawsuit took place at Chalice Recording Studios in Los Angeles on September 12, 2022. Lil Rod claims that during a writers and producers camp, a heated argument broke out between Diddy Justin and a 30-year-old man identified only as G. The argument alleged lie escalated, prompting the 3 men to move to a nearby bathroom, just 2 feet away from Lil Rod. It was in this confined space that multiple shots were fired, striking G in the abdomen and near his leg or hip area. The suit states, Mr. Combs gave strict instructions to inform the police.